Sacred geometry has fascinated scholars, mystics, and spiritual seekers for millennia, offering a window into the hidden design of the universe. The intricate patterns and structures found in nature, art, and architecture reveal more than just mathematical perfection. They point to an underlying divine order. From the spirals and seashells to the alignment of the planets, geometric shapes have been seen as the fingerprints of creation, embodying cosmic truths and spiritual realities that transcend time and culture. One of the most intriguing forms in sacred geometry is the flower of life, a pattern made up of overlapping circles that create a complex and harmonious design. The flower of life is more than just an aesthetic figure. It's considered to represent the blueprint of the universe itself. Many believe that it contains within it the seed of all creation, with each circle symbolizing a stage of unfolding life. When analyzed closely, it seems to reveal endless layers of complexity, as though each circle is a gateway into a deeper understanding of reality. Throughout history, various cultures have revered this symbol, from ancient Egypt to modern esoteric traditions, recognizing it as a representation of the interconnectedness of all things. It's thought to encode the laws of the universe, including the principles of harmony, balance, and growth. Closely related to the flower of life is another sacred geometric figure, Metatron's cube. This form emerges when straight lines are drawn between the centers of the circles within the flower of life, creating a three-dimensional shape that encompasses all the Platonic solids, the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Metatron's cube holds deep spiritual significance, often associated with the angel Metatron, who is said to guard the throne of God and oversee the flow of divine energy into the material world. The shape's construction reflects the idea that all matter is interconnected, that everything in existence is made from the same divine geometry. For those who study sacred geometry, Metatron's cube represents the unification of opposites, spirit and matter, male and female, light and dark, showing that everything is part of a greater whole. This figure is also believed to hold the key to understanding how energy moves through space and time, and how consciousness itself is structured. As we dive deeper into the study of sacred geometry, we encounter another fundamental concept, the golden ratio, also known as the divine proportion. This mathematical ratio, approximately 1.618, appears consistently throughout nature, art, and architecture, from the spiral of a nautilus shell to the proportions of the human body. The golden ratio is often associated with beauty and harmony, as its proportions are pleasing to the human eye and seem to resonate with a deeper, subconscious sense of order. In spiritual traditions, the golden ratio is seen as a reflection of the divine, embodying the balance between unity and diversity, chaos and order. It's said to represent the perfect harmony of the cosmos, a signature of the Creator woven into the fabric of existence. Many ancient cultures understood the significance of the golden ratio and used it in their architecture and art to create spaces that resonate with spiritual energy. For instance, the ancient Egyptians built the Great Pyramid of Giza according to these sacred proportions, believing that by aligning their structures with the cosmos, they could tap into its divine power. Similarly, the architects of the Parthenon in Greece employed the golden ratio to create a temple that reflected the harmony of the heavens. Even in more modern times, artists and architects like Leonardo da Vinci and Le Corbusier have used the golden ratio in their work, understanding its ability to evoke a sense of balance and perfection. But why do these shapes and ratios hold such power? To those who study sacred geometry, the answer lies in the belief that these forms are not just abstract concepts, but are the very building blocks of creation. They are thought to reflect the mind of the Creator, revealing the structure of the universe and the principles by which it operates. This belief is rooted in the ancient understanding that the universe is not random, but is governed by divine laws that can be understood through the study of geometry. By contemplating these shapes and patterns, we can gain insight into the deeper truths of existence and our place within the cosmos. The study of sacred geometry also points to the idea of interconnectedness, suggesting that everything in the universe is connected through a web of geometric relationships. This is evident in the way that the same patterns appear at all levels of creation, from the microscopic to the cosmic. For example, the spiral pattern found in galaxies mirrors the spiral of a seashell, while the hexagonal structure of a honeycomb reflects the crystalline structure of minerals. This repetition of geometric forms across different scales suggests that there is a unifying principle at work, a divine blueprint that underlies all of existence. This idea of a divine blueprint is central to many spiritual traditions, which teach that by understanding the patterns of creation, we can align ourselves with the flow of divine energy. In this way, sacred geometry becomes a tool for spiritual awakening, a means of accessing higher states of consciousness and connecting with the divine. Many believe that by meditating on these forms, we can attune our minds and bodies to the frequencies of the universe, bringing about healing, balance, and enlightenment. The geometric shapes become a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds, allowing us to glimpse the order and harmony that lies beneath the surface of reality. In the esoteric traditions, the study of sacred geometry is often linked to the practice of alchemy, the ancient art of transformation. Alchemists believed that by understanding the geometric principles that govern the universe, they could transform base matter into gold and achieve spiritual enlightenment. This process was not just about physical transformation, but about inner transformation as well, using the symbols and shapes of sacred geometry to unlock the divine potential within. The cube, the sphere, the triangle. Each of these shapes was seen as a key to unlocking the mysteries of the cosmos and the self. Sacred geometry also plays a significant role in many religious and spiritual rituals, serving as a visual reminder of the divine order of the universe. In Christianity, the geometry of church architecture, with its carefully proportioned naves and altars, is designed to reflect the harmony of heaven. In Hinduism and Buddhism, mandalas, geometric patterns representing the universe, are used as tools for meditation, helping practitioners focus their minds and connect with the divine. Even in Islam, the intricate geometric designs found in mosques and other sacred spaces are intended to evoke the infinite nature of God, with their repeating patterns symbolizing the eternal and unchanging nature of the divine. Through these sacred forms, we are invited to contemplate the mysteries of existence and our place within the grand design of the universe. Whether we encounter these shapes in the architecture of ancient temples, in the natural world, or in the patterns of our own lives, sacred geometry offers us a glimpse of the divine blueprint, a reminder that we are all part of a greater whole, connected by the same fundamental principles that govern the cosmos. As we continue to explore the depths of sacred geometry, we are reminded that the universe is not a random collection of matter, but a carefully designed work of art, a masterpiece of creation that reflects the mind of the Creator in every detail. By studying these shapes and patterns, we can begin to unlock the secrets of the universe, understanding not only the physical laws that govern reality, but also the spiritual truths that lie beyond them. Sacred geometry offers us a key to the mysteries of existence, a way of seeing the world that transcends the limitations of ordinary perception and allows us to glimpse the divine order that underlies all of creation. Through this lens, we can begin to see the world not as a chaotic and fragmented place, but as a harmonious and interconnected whole, where every shape, every pattern, and every being is a reflection of the divine. In continuing our exploration of sacred geometry, we move from the fundamental shapes like the flower of life, Metatron's cube, and the golden ratio into the deeper and more esoteric implications of these forms. Each geometric shape not only represents an aesthetic principle, but also encodes a vast array of spiritual meanings and metaphysical insights, opening a pathway to understanding how the universe operates on both the material and spiritual levels. One of the most intriguing aspects of sacred geometry is its universality. These shapes and patterns are not confined to any one culture, religion, or philosophy, but can be found in various traditions around the world. The fact that similar geometric symbols appear in the spiritual art of ancient Egypt, Greece, India, China, and the Americas suggests that they tap into a universal language, one that transcends time and geography. This has led many to speculate that sacred geometry is a form of universal knowledge, passed down through the ages and across cultures, serving as a bridge between humanity and the divine. For example, in ancient Egypt, the geometrical proportions of the pyramids were designed to align with the stars, reflecting the belief that by aligning human-made structures with the cosmos, one could tap into the divine energy of the universe. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a striking example of this, with its precise alignment to the cardinal points and its proportions based on the golden ratio. This sacred structure was believed to act as a conduit between the physical and spiritual realms, facilitating the pharaoh's journey into the afterlife. Similarly, in the Vedic traditions of India, sacred geometry is used in the construction of temples, with every aspect of the temple's design, from its overall layout to the smallest details, reflecting cosmic principles. The mandalas, often used in Hindu and Buddhist rituals, are geometric diagrams that represent the universe in its metaphysical form. By meditating on these patterns, practitioners seek to harmonize their minds with the cosmos, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. But sacred geometry is not just a relic of the past. It continues to play a vital role in modern spiritual practices. Many contemporary spiritual teachers and researchers have emphasized the significance of sacred geometry in understanding the structure of the universe. For instance, the concept of fractals, a complex geometric pattern that can be split into parts, each of which is a reduced-scale copy of the whole, has gained attention for its spiritual implications. Fractals are found throughout nature, from the branching of trees to the spirals of galaxies, and are seen by many as a manifestation of the infinite nature of the universe. Fractals also suggest that the universe operates on a principle of self-similarity, meaning that the same patterns repeat themselves at every scale. This idea resonates with the spiritual teaching that the macrocosm, the universe, reflects the microcosm, the individual, and vice versa. In this view, by understanding the patterns that govern the larger universe, we can gain insight into our own inner world. Similarly, by contemplating the structures within ourselves, we can come to understand the larger patterns of existence. This mirrors the Hermetic principle of as above, so below, which suggests that everything in the universe is interconnected and that the same principles apply at all levels of reality. This concept of fractal geometry has also been applied to consciousness. Some spiritual traditions propose that human consciousness itself is structured according to fractal principles, with each individual mind reflecting the larger cosmic consciousness. This idea has gained traction in fields like quantum physics and neuroscience, where researchers are beginning to recognize that the brain, the universe, and consciousness may all operate according to similar geometric principles. One of the most powerful aspects of sacred geometry is its ability to reveal the interconnectedness of all things. As we study these shapes and patterns, we begin to see how everything in the universe is related, not just on a physical level, but also on a spiritual level. This interconnectedness is often referred to as the web of life or the cosmic matrix, a vast network of relationships that binds all things together. Sacred geometry provides a visual and symbolic representation of this network, showing how each part of the whole is connected to every other part. This sense of interconnectedness is a key theme in many spiritual traditions. In Buddhism, for example, the concept of dependent origination teaches that everything in existence arises in dependence on other things. Nothing exists in isolation. Similarly, in Native American spirituality, the idea of the Great Spirit emphasizes the unity of all life, with every creature and every element of nature being part of a greater whole. Sacred geometry, with its repeating patterns and harmonious proportions, offers a powerful symbol of this unity, reminding us that we are all part of the same cosmic design. As we continue to explore the spiritual significance of sacred geometry, we must also consider its role in personal transformation. Many spiritual teachers have emphasized that by meditating on these shapes, we can awaken to deeper levels of awareness and understanding. The geometric forms serve as a kind of mirror, reflecting our own inner structure and guiding us toward greater self-realization. By contemplating these shapes, we can begin to align our minds and bodies with the cosmic order, bringing ourselves into harmony with the universe. This process of alignment is often referred to as attunement, a state in which we are fully synchronized with the divine frequencies that govern the universe. Attunement is a central goal of many spiritual practices, from yoga to meditation to prayer. Sacred geometry provides a visual and symbolic pathway to this attunement, offering us a tangible way to connect with the divine energy that flows through all things. One of the most well-known ways to use sacred geometry for spiritual attunement is through the practice of mandala meditation. Mandalas are intricate geometric designs that represent the structure of the universe, and by focusing on these patterns, practitioners can quiet the mind and enter into a state of deep meditation. The symmetry and balance of the mandala help to bring the mind into harmony, creating a sense of inner peace and stillness. In this way, sacred geometry becomes a tool for personal transformation, offering a way to access higher states of consciousness and connect with the divine. Another important aspect of sacred geometry is its connection to sound and vibration. Many spiritual traditions teach that the universe was created through sound, with certain vibrations giving rise to the physical world. This idea is closely related to the concept of cymatics, the study of how sound waves create geometric patterns in physical matter. When sound is directed at a surface covered in a fine powder or liquid, it creates intricate, symmetrical patterns that resemble the shapes found in sacred geometry. This suggests that sound and geometry are intimately connected, with the vibrations of sound giving rise to the geometric patterns that underlie the physical world. This idea is also reflected in the ancient concept of the music of the spheres, which suggests that the movements of the planets and stars produce a kind of cosmic music. According to this theory, the universe is like a vast symphony, with each celestial body vibrating at a specific frequency and contributing to the overall harmony of the cosmos. Sacred geometry, with its emphasis on harmony and proportion, is a visual representation of this cosmic music, showing how the universe is structured according to the same principles that govern musical composition. In conclusion, sacred geometry offers us a profound way to understand the universe and our place within it. Through the study of these shapes and patterns, we can gain insight into the divine order that governs all things, recognizing the interconnectedness of all life and the harmony that underlies the cosmos. Whether we encounter these forms in the natural world, in the architecture of ancient temples, or in the symbols of spiritual traditions, sacred geometry invites us to see the world through the eyes of the divine, to recognize that everything in existence is part of a greater whole. As we continue to explore the mysteries of sacred geometry, we are reminded that the universe is not random or chaotic, but is a carefully designed masterpiece, a reflection of the divine mind in every detail. As we delve into the final part of our exploration of sacred geometry, we turn our focus to its most profound implications for spiritual growth and the nature of reality itself. Sacred geometry, beyond its aesthetic beauty and mathematical precision, serves as a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds, providing a framework through which we can access deeper spiritual truths and navigate the journey of personal transformation. One of the most important concepts in sacred geometry is the idea that the universe operates according to a set of universal laws, which are reflected in the shapes and patterns that we observe in nature. These laws are not merely physical but also metaphysical, governing the spiritual dimensions of existence as well. The study of sacred geometry reveals these underlying principles, offering insights into how energy moves, how matter is formed, and how consciousness evolves. By understanding these principles, we can begin to align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe, living in harmony with the divine order that governs all things. At the heart of this understanding is the idea of balance. Sacred geometry is built on the principle of harmony, with each shape and pattern reflecting a perfect balance between opposing forces. Whether it's the symmetry of a flower, the proportions of a temple, or the spiraling patterns of a galaxy, sacred geometry shows us that balance is essential to the functioning of the universe. This balance is not just physical but also spiritual, reflecting the dualities of existence, light and dark, male and female, spirit and matter. By contemplating these forms, we can come to understand that true spiritual growth requires the integration of these dualities, bringing them into harmony within ourselves. This idea of balance is particularly evident in the symbol of the yin and yang, which is closely related to the principles of sacred geometry. The yin-yang symbol represents the balance between opposing forces, showing that each contains a seed of the other. In this way, it reflects the idea that opposites are not truly separate, but are interconnected and interdependent, each one necessary for the existence of the other. This same principle can be seen in the geometric patterns of sacred geometry, which often involve the interplay of opposing shapes and forms. For example, the interlocking circles of the flower of life represent the balance between unity and diversity, while the symmetrical forms of Metatron's cube show the harmony between the material and spiritual realms. Sacred geometry also teaches us about the concept of cycles. The repeating patterns found in nature, such as the spirals of a seashell, the cycles of the moon, or the rotation of the planets, reveal that the universe operates in cycles, with each phase of existence leading naturally into the next. These cycles are not random, but are governed by the same geometric principles that we see in sacred shapes. The spiral, in particular, is a powerful symbol of the cyclical nature of life, representing growth, evolution, and the continual expansion of consciousness. In spiritual traditions, the spiral is often seen as a symbol of the soul's journey, with each revolution of the spiral representing a new stage of spiritual awakening. The spiral is also closely associated with the concept of the Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers that appears frequently in sacred geometry. This sequence, in which each number is the sum of the two preceding numbers, can be found in everything from the arrangement of leaves on a stem to the proportions of the human body. The Fibonacci sequence is not just a mathematical curiosity. It reflects the fundamental principles of growth and expansion that govern the universe. In this sense, the Fibonacci spiral can be seen as a symbol of the soul's journey, with each turn of the spiral representing a deeper level of understanding and awareness. The study of sacred geometry also invites us to consider the concept of sacred space. Throughout history, sacred geometry has been used in the design of temples, cathedrals, and other sacred structures, with the belief that by aligning these buildings with the geometric principles of the universe, they could become conduits for divine energy. The proportions and layouts of these structures were not chosen arbitrarily, but were carefully calculated to reflect the harmony and balance of the cosmos. In this way, sacred spaces became places where the material and spiritual worlds could meet, where individuals could come into alignment with the divine and experience a sense of connection to the greater whole. This idea of sacred space extends beyond physical buildings. In many spiritual traditions, the body itself is seen as a sacred temple, with its proportions and structure reflecting the same geometric principles that govern the universe. The chakras, for example, are energy centers within the body that correspond to different levels of consciousness and spiritual awareness. Each chakra is associated with a specific geometric shape, representing the different aspects of our being: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. By working with these energy centers, we can bring ourselves into alignment with the divine order and achieve a greater sense of balance and harmony within ourselves. In this sense, sacred geometry is not just a tool for understanding the external world, but also a guide for inner transformation. By studying these shapes and patterns, we can gain insight into the structure of our own consciousness, learning how to bring ourselves into alignment with the natural flow of the universe. This process of alignment is often referred to as ascension, a term used in many spiritual traditions to describe the process of raising one's consciousness to a higher level. Ascension is not about escaping the physical world, but about integrating the material and spiritual aspects of existence, bringing them into harmony within ourselves. The concept of ascension is closely related to the idea of the Merkaba, a sacred geometric symbol that represents the vehicle of ascension. The Merkaba is a three-dimensional star tetrahedron, made up of two interlocking tetrahedrons that spin in opposite directions. This shape is believed to represent the balance between the masculine and feminine energies, as well as the integration of the physical and spiritual realms. In meditation practices, the Merkaba is often used as a tool for spiritual ascension, helping practitioners connect with higher dimensions of consciousness and access the divine light. As we contemplate the deeper meanings of sacred geometry, we are reminded that these shapes are not just abstract concepts but living symbols, filled with spiritual energy and wisdom. They invite us to look beyond the surface of reality and recognize the divine order that lies beneath. In this way, sacred geometry serves as a pathway to enlightenment, offering us a map for navigating the journey of spiritual growth and awakening. The journey of sacred geometry ultimately leads us to a recognition of the interconnectedness of all things. Every shape, every pattern, and every being is part of the same divine blueprint, reflecting the unity of the cosmos. By studying these forms, we can begin to see the world not as a collection of separate, isolated objects, but as a harmonious whole, where everything is connected by the same fundamental principles of geometry. This understanding of interconnectedness is at the heart of many spiritual teachings, which emphasize the idea that we are all part of a greater whole. Whether we call it the web of life, the cosmic matrix, or the divine plan, this interconnectedness reminds us that our actions, thoughts, and intentions have an impact on the world around us. Sacred geometry shows us that every part of the whole is important, that each of us has a role to play in the unfolding of the universe's divine plan. In conclusion, sacred geometry offers us a profound way to understand the universe and our place within it. Through the study of these shapes and patterns, we can gain insight into the divine order that governs all things, recognizing the interconnectedness of all life and the harmony that underlies the cosmos. As we continue to explore the mysteries of sacred geometry, we are reminded that the universe is not random or chaotic, but is a carefully designed masterpiece, a reflection of the divine mind in every detail. Sacred geometry is not just a study of shapes and patterns, but a path to spiritual awakening, offering us a way to align ourselves with the flow of divine energy and experience the deeper truths of existence.